Will you solemnly promise and swear to govern the peoples of Camelot according to their respective laws and customs?
Solemnly swear so to do.
Will you, to your power, cause law and justice in mercy to be executed in all your judgments?
I will.
Then by the sacred law vested in me, I crown you Arthur, King of Camelot.
For centuries, the legend of King Arthur has captivated the imaginations of millions. But who was Arthur? A real king? A legendary hero? Or something in between? In this video, we'll delve into the origins of the Arthurian legends, explore the historical evidence, and try to unravel the mystery of King Arthur, history or myth. According to most versions of the legend, Arthur was the son of Uther Pendragon, a powerful king, and Igraine, the wife of Duke Gorlois of Cornwall. Arthur was conceived through magical means, with the help of the wizard Merlin, who disguised Uther as Gorlois. After his birth, Arthur was hidden away and raised by Sir Ector, unaware of his royal lineage. Arthur is famously associated with two swords. The first is the sword in the stone, which only the true king could pull out, proving his right to the throne. In some versions, this sword is Excalibur, while in others, Excalibur is a different, magical sword given to Arthur by the Lady of the Lake. One of the most iconic aspects of Arthur's legend is the Round Table, a symbol of equality where Arthur's knights gathered. The Round Table was a place where no one knight held a position of higher status than another, reflecting the chivalric ideals of brotherhood, loyalty, and honor. Arthur's court, Camelot, is depicted as a utopian kingdom where justice and chivalry reign. It serves as the central setting for many of the Arthurian tales, representing the height of Arthur's rule and the ideal of a perfect society. Arthur's wife, Queen Guinevere, and his most trusted knight, Sir Lancelot, are central figures in the legend. Their love affair is a key plot point in many stories, leading to the eventual downfall of Camelot. The love triangle between Arthur, Guinevere, and Lancelot adds a layer of personal tragedy to the legend. The quest for the Holy Grail, a mystical object believed to hold divine power, is one of the most significant stories in the Arthurian legend. The Grail quest represents the knight's pursuit of spiritual purity and redemption, and only the most virtuous knight, often Sir Galahad, is said to be worthy of finding it. Arthur's downfall is often attributed to his illegitimate son, Mordred, who rebels against him. The final battle between Arthur and Mordred at Camlan is a tragic end to Arthur's reign, resulting in both their deaths and the collapse of Camelot. After the Battle of Camlan, Arthur is said to have been taken to the Isle of Avalon to recover from his wounds, leading to the belief that he would one day return to rule Britain again. This element of the legend symbolizes hope and the idea of the once and future king. The legend of King Arthur is one of the most enduring and popular stories in Western literature, blending history and myth in a complex narrative. The origins of the Arthurian legends and the historical basis for King Arthur himself have been the subject of scholarly debate for centuries. Here's an analysis of the key elements. The earliest references to an Arthur-like figure appear in the works of the 6th century monk Gildas and the 9th century historian Nennius. Gildas mentions a battle of Badon Hill, but does not name Arthur. Nennius, in his Historia Brittonum, provides one of the first lists of Arthur's battles, although his account is considered more legendary than historical. The most influential account of Arthur comes from Geoffrey of Monmouth's Historia Regum Britanniae, History of the Kings of Britain, written in the 12th century. Geoffrey presents Arthur as a powerful king who unified Britain and led a series of heroic battles. His work, however, is a blend of myth, history, and Geoffrey's own creative additions. The Arthurian legends are deeply rooted in Celtic mythology. Arthur may be a composite character derived from older Celtic heroes, gods, or kings. For instance, the The Welsh Mabinogion contains stories that share themes and characters with the Arthurian legends, such as the hero Culhwch, who embarks on quests similar to those of Arthur's knights. During the Middle Ages, Arthurian legends were further developed in the Romantic literature of France and Britain. The Lancelot Grail cycle and works by Chrétien de Troyes introduced elements like the Holy Grail, Lancelot, and the tragic love affair between Lancelot and Guinevere. These stories shifted the focus from Arthur's battles to the chivalric and courtly aspects of his reign. There is no contemporary evidence that definitively proves the existence of King Arthur. He does not appear in the works of Roman historians or in the writings of his supposed contemporaries, which raises doubts about his historicity. Some historians suggest that Arthur could be based on a real historical figure, such as a Romano-British military leader who resisted the Saxon invasion during the 5th or 6th century. Others argue he may have been a composite of multiple leaders or a symbolic figure representing the ideal of British resistance. The legendary court of Camelot has been linked to various historical sites in Britain, such as Cadbury Castle in Somerset. However, there is no consensus, and many locations are speculative. Battle of Mount Badon, this battle, often attributed to Arthur, is one of the few events with a possible historical basis. Gildas references a victory against the Saxons at Badon Hill, but again, there is no direct mention of Arthur. Whether or not Arthur was a real historical figure, the legends surrounding him have had a profound impact on British and Western culture. They reflect the ideals of medieval chivalry, the struggle against invaders, and the dream of a utopian kingdom led by a just and noble ruler. The legend of King Arthur has been adapted and reimagined across various forms of media, including literature, film, television, and more. Each adaptation reflects the cultural and artistic sensibilities of its time, ensuring that the Arthurian legend remains relevant and captivating to new audiences. In the end, whether King Arthur was a real historical figure or a legendary symbol may never be fully known. But perhaps it's this very mystery that keeps the legend alive, an enduring tale that continues to inspire and intrigue. What do you think? Was Arthur a king, a myth, or a bit of both? Let us know in the comments below.